Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building. I am Sam Palmer.
And I'm at Eddie Chard. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks, mate. It's getting better and better by the week.
Certainly is.
So we had a great win at the weekend. So we are, I think I looked at it earlier. I think are we 2 points off United now?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of
I
points out of the Europa League.
I think we're 2 points off United, 6 points off of Spurs in fifth.
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Crisis over.
I mean, when you look at the face of it like that, it's like, what is all the fuss about?
It's
Um,
almost actually embarrassing, like even from us, that we were discussing the manager has got to go.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we were totally though, was we? Because we were saying that there'd been 8 games in a row where we'd been really bad,
Yeah,
and if it continues, something has to change. Like that can't continue. I don't think either of us were Moyes out, but that run of form couldn't continue.
it's funny because I have still in my WhatsApp groups, it's still a big consensus. Moyes out, hate it,
Really,
this dire football. Now, see, I watched Everton, and yeah, did we ride our luck? Without a doubt. Could we have got beat quite heavily on another day? Probably. I quite enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. Yeah,
I just don't think there's any team that just blows away opponents. Like even we saw City at the weekend. They were against United. United went 1-0 up. City got there in the end, but
mm,
they're a different. We can't compare ourselves to Man City. It's simple as that.
mm.
And I think that's where people are going wrong a little bit. They look at, I just don't know really what they expect us to be. But it looks, I honestly thought we looked really good. I thought, obviously, Areola, I thought was man of the match.
Mm. Yeah,
I know we've given him a little bit of stick on his crossing ability, but maybe, and I thought about this actually at the weekend, maybe he's at the exact level he should be at. Because if he was
yeah,
better at crossing and maybe a bit better with his feet, then he'd probably play for Liverpool.
yeah. He wouldn't be with us.
No, and that's probably is the truth of the matter, isn't it? He's
Yeah,
probably got a goalkeeper that's as good as our level. And he will make a mistake every now and then. And he'll have an amazing game every now and then.
mm,
To be fair, he is overall this season been brilliant, to be
yeah.
fair.
His
Uh,
shot stopping so good.
and the penalty was, I think, the reason we won that game.
Yeah,
If that penalty went in before half time, it would have been tougher to come back. Because what was the score then? 0-0.
0-0. Yeah,
Yeah, 0-0. And then, yeah, then the penalty would have put them out. It was just a big, big moment in the game, wasn't it?
no, I agree. Yeah.
What did
So I
you
thought
think?
we.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry, after you.
No, I was just going to say. I thought first half. I thought we'd done all right. I thought we played quite well. I thought for about 20, 25 minutes, we controlled the game, really. It only looked like there was going to be any
Yeah,
one winner for long spells in the first half. I think towards the end of that first half, Everton started getting into it, creating chances and stuff. But I thought we'd done well first half. So that penalty was going to be an absolute killer just before the break.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, like you said, it was vital that he kept it out.
Yeah, and it was a good save. I actually thought Everton played quite well as well. I didn't think they played bad at all. It wasn't. I think the scoreline flattered it. I think David Moyes said after the scoreline flattered this a little bit, but Everton weren't bad. I actually thought it was quite a good battling game.
Yeah, it was a good
They're
game.
not a team we ever beat either, really. I think I think we're their biggest team that they've won
Yeah,
against throughout
they've won
history
the
or
most.
Premiership history.
Yeah, they've won the most Premier League games against us.
Yeah, but that
So it was
tells you.
always going to be, yeah, it was always going to be a tough game. And we said on the pod last week that it's going to be a really tough game. Like to get a draw was a decent result.
We both
And
went draws actually, and I think, and at one point I thought we've both got this right, and I actually even texted on the group, I'd be happy with a draw here. And
yeah,
someone said these are rubbish. Of course, you shouldn't be happy with a draw, but I thought they're it's a way that's the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone.
The Premier League is so hard, and
Yeah,
any away game is so hard to get points from.
yeah. I watched
So
the Villa Luton this week. Again, Luton was so unlucky. Like they have been,
yeah,
like you've got to say they're unlucky teams. They've been so unlucky in the recent weeks because I wouldn't fancy playing Luton this week.
not at all.
They're bottom three, Luton, aren't they? Are they in the
Yeah,
bottom three? Is it
yeah,
who is
yeah. I think now.
Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton in the bottom
I
three?
think so. Yeah, 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 yeah. If
Sheffield
they,
United, I think, are done. Burnley, I think, are also another team that are useless. Um, with this principle of playing out of the back, it's just, like honestly, I like Burnley at the minute because everyone who says we want to be like a footballing team, I go, what, like Burnley? And because that really is it. Because it's all right saying you want to be Liverpool or City, if you haven't got their budget or
players,
their, because Liverpool, let's just say, haven't spent as much money, or their stature.
well,
Like
the
people go to
players,
Liverpool because it's Liverpool.
yeah,
And Man United almost the same, which is dying down a little bit now, but people still go to Manchester United because it's Manchester United.
yeah, yeah.
We're not that. So we have to look at where do we compete. And I honestly, I actually, my opinion now, I think is I think Moyes is the perfect manager for us. Um, and I think I kind of get persuaded a little bit by fans when the bandwagon comes on.
Yeah, same,
I actually do enjoy. I think these last 3 or 4 years have been my best ever watching West Ham.
same. Yeah, same for me.
And like I take back, we all got love Prague. Was last season great? No. Was the Jesse Lingard season great? It was fantastic.
So good, so good.
And I think we're at more points than we was then at this season on this season.
Yeah,
So you look at like, this is I just wish we could get behind it again. And actually, if the club, I think, was behind this team a bit more, we might actually finish in Champions League this year. There is actually a shot because fifth will get you in Champions League.
yeah. Well, I mean, got Burnley next. You'd hope we'd win that. Tottenham have got Villa. Is Tottenham a fifth, isn't it? Is it
Yeah,
Tottenham a fifth?
Tottenham are fifth.
Yeah. So
Villa are
Tottenham got
fourth in
Villa.
the top four.
Do you know what I mean? So Villa beat Spurs. We beat Burnley. 3 points behind Tottenham. 3 points off Champions League,
And with
which is
them to
crazy.
play.
And them to play. So you're
So
right.
you look at it and go, actually, we're well on track here. So look, I'm not expecting us to get Champions League. I'm really
No,
not.
no.
I'd be
Of course not.
thrilled if we finished seventh.
If we
Like
finished,
seventh. I
yeah,
think
it's a
that would be
good
an
season.
amazing season for us. When you look at the top teams in the Premiership, you got Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, United, Villa, Spurs, Newcastle. Let's just say all of those teams there. That's 8, so that puts us in ninth. So then you've got to say to finish above 2 of those in 7th is an amazing season.
I
So I
agree.
think that would be, and then you've got Wolves who are doing well, and you've got your Brightons, and you're sort of your next league almost. So we're top of the next league, and we shouldn't be competing with even Spurs really. The facilities they've got, they've been Champions League final team over the last 10 years, third in the league. They're at a different level. I hate saying it, but they are. It's so we shouldn't even be competing with them. We've already beat them this year. We've beat Arsenal this year twice. We've beat United this year.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. So you look and it's not a bad season, but I don't know why we've got this negative cloud over it that it's been a bad season.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think when we lose quite badly in terms of
Yeah.
not always the result, but the performance stinks.
Mm.
I think fans just get the ump with that. But when you take a broad look of how we've done, it's been good really overall. And
Yeah.
obviously we sound a little bit hypocritical because a couple of weeks we wasn't this positive, but
No, exactly. Look, and I'll be honest with you, and I think maybe it's in our DNA. that we are moaners and just never happy. I don't. I said this, and someone said, "Well, you're the worst," to me, and I said, "Yeah," because I said last season, Areola isn't good enough, in my opinion, but I put that next to Fabianski, who I
Yeah,
thought was a better player than Areola at the time. I did agree with Moyes changing it over this year because I think you have to look at a longer term
yeah,
play. And
yeah.
I think Fab's brilliant, but Areola's come in, he's proved his point.
Mm.
Soufal looked like it. I suppose we come to our next man who divides opinion more than any is Thomas Souček. He's so funny because I've never not liked Souček. Like, and I thought about this the other day. I've never been one that's saying he's useless. He shouldn't be in the team. He's not one. I don't know why. I've always quite liked. I liked his aerial threat. Um, he's
Stick it
never
in the
been
mix
my
now.
favourite player of the team because you tend to go to the Biquetas and the Bowens and things like that. But I love his commitment to the club. I think he's really taken on like the West Ham spirit. Him and Soufal, actually, they both seem that they love it, really, didn't they? They
Mm.
see the kids in West Ham shirts and they just seem nice fellas, didn't they?
Yeah,
What do you think of Souček?
I think I agree with you. I think it's time we put a bit of respect on the name of our potato salad eating, helicopter spinning, favourite checkmate. No, because I must admit, I'm one of the first to have said there's many games where the game seems to just pass him by, and he does seem limited in his ability on the ball.
Yeah.
However, he's the sort of player who's from day one has given 100% in every single game. He's
And
like
gets
goals.
battered a lot of the time as
I was
well.
going to say, I don't know a player who's has really nasty head injuries. The number of nasty head injuries he's had, I've never seen anything like it. Like really nice, and that's because he
Yeah.
just gives. Do you know what I mean? He really gives everything. Puts his head where it hurts, sort of thing. And he's just 100% committed. His goals to game ratio, brilliant.
Well, I'm
Really
going to
for a
bring that up now
midfielder.
because I've got the stat up here because I heard it and I just wanted to check it was right. Premier League this year, 6 goals, 1 assist. EFL Cup, 1 goal. Europa League, 2 goals. 9 goals, 1 assist from, we would call him more of a defensive midfielder. He does play a bit more forward, I suppose, in games. Quite a good return.
Oh, so that's a brilliant return, and especially when you consider he does a lot of the crappy stuff in midfield as well, where he's tracking back, getting interceptions and stuff like that. And what I was going to say, and I think 4 of those Premier League goals have been last minute winners.
Winners. So this guy
Do you know
has
what I mean?
actually won us 4 games
And
this year.
like, yeah, and like that's unbelievable as it is, just scoring the winner. But as a fan, those moments are what you go to football for. Those last minute winners.
Do you
Do you
know
know
the
what I
first
mean?
thought of when I saw Everton? I went, oh, I wish I was there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Just imagine the feeling.
Imagine the train ride home, how great it was, singing songs, all having a laugh. Because you get on, especially Everton, you get on the train with a lot of Everton fans going back to. There's like a couple of stops. I don't know if it's Crewe or Runcorn. They get on just before. I might have got them completely wrong, but there is a couple of stops just before where Everton fans all get on. So it'd be quite fun. You'd be on the train. But yeah, I think I look at it, and to be honest with you, I thought Calvin Phillips done all right when he came on.
You don't know.
He came on a bit under the radar, which was great. He didn't come on as like the big Calvin Phillips thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
he actually
yeah,
done him quite well, and it was quite nice to see him celebrating and having a good laugh. And maybe it's what he just needs to come under the radar a little bit. He's
yeah,
not Calvin Phillips, Man City player, all of a
yeah,
sudden. Just come in and be part of it. And that was quite nice. And I think we all hope it goes well for him because he
yeah.
seems like
He
a nice
seems a nice
fellow.
lad. He seems a
Um,
nice lad.
and he was a great player. Like we've seen him have good performances, so he could be a great addition, especially if someone like Souček or Ward-Prowse gets. I thought Ward-Prowse was very good again on,
Yeah,
not again. I think finally on Saturday that we can say, are we carrying him a little bit? I think we've had that conversation. And I thought Alvarez was again brilliant.
he's he's a bit unfortunate that Areola played so well, isn't he? Because he would have been man of the match by a long way if it wasn't for Areola. I thought he was brilliant. Everything he done was brilliant.
Yeah, look, it's funny. I was when I was watching it, he missed a couple of pluck passes, and I thought, and I said to myself, Deck wouldn't have done that. And
Mm,
it actually did. Like it was my first thought, and I thought, why are you considering him to Deck? Deck's
mm.
probably one of the best centre midfielders in the world. This guy's not it, but he's a really good player,
Yeah,
and I think
yeah,
that's where you can kind of take it as a West Ham fan. Nah, not as good as him with a Soucek, not as good as Frank Lampard, like or some Michael Carrick. No, he's
yeah,
not. But does he do a job? Does he give his all? And I think that is a lot of it. And will they have bad games? Yeah, they will. I think they're at that level.
yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be at City,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
PSG, Real Madrid, or one of the top teams. But I like him. I think he's coming. I think he's done I think he's had a really good debut season actually.
yeah. I think he's been brilliant, brilliant. And also, like Arsenal paid 105 million for Declan Rice, and we've paid what just over 30 million for Alvarez. So
Bit of a difference.
yeah, massive difference.
But a very like definitely playing well above a 30 million like pound player.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's done this season. I think where he struggled a little bit is the bookings. I think did he get another one at the weekend?
No, so he didn't. So he's one away from a two-game ban.
Was it the game before that he got another one?
I think it might have been. I think it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so now he's. I think he needs to get through, which he's not going to. The next 5 games before that doesn't count. And I'm getting very nervous that he's going to be banned for the Tottenham game, and that's coming up soon.
Yeah. Which is probably going to be in David Moyes' mind. And you maybe we'll see Phillips on
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, maybe,
You might see
maybe,
Phillips coming on Saturday because I would think it'll be in their mind.
yeah.
So David Moyes, I've got to say, does usually go a bit more gun ho with team selection, probably to his detriment in sometimes. Like the Paqueta one was, it definitely backfired playing him against Bristol,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then in
yeah,
the replay when he what clearly wasn't fit, it killed us. Thought he was a little bit quieter on Saturday.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Still great, he's still done a good job, but I thought
Yeah,
we were all over quite good, except, and I think we have to accept it now. The centre backs still not quite right. It's not a David Moyes centre back pairing at the minute.
I'd agree. I'd agree. Yeah, Zuma just seems his mobility, his athleticism. I don't know. There's something just not quite right with him at the minute. It's funny actually. I was just thinking about the penalty and how we've been berating players who stand with their arms behind their back. And then obviously he's come out of his arms by his side and he's given away a penalty. So he's kind of, you can
Did you think
understand
it
why.
was a penalty?
Oh, I thought it was harsh. I thought it was very harsh, but
I
it
did
just
as
made me
well.
think. It made me think straight away. So this is why they put their hands behind their back, because that is a soft penalty and it's harsh. And his
But I
hands
do.
is.
But I did say this is a penalty because
I
of
thought
the
it
way
could
the
be.
game is. If it touches your hand now, it's kind of a penalty.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think in older times that wouldn't have been a penalty.
I don't think. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Kind of his arm was behind him. He hasn't moved it toward the ball.
No,
It's hit him
harsh.
out a bit more, but he's turning, and you can't, as you turn, your arm turns.
Yeah,
So I think that was, yeah, I think it was a bit harsh. So I think, but I did think, yeah,
it's
Mavropanos
just
fought for the goal, the header. He was he was
yeah,
enjoying that,
yeah.
man.
Just
It's a
that bit of
very good
movement.
header, though.
I mean, it was the ball, wasn't it? The
Great
ball was
cross. Yeah, it was lovely.
the cross was the goal basically. But he's just lost him, isn't he? As the ball's going across, he's lost his man. And again, it was like the Brentford first goal where he's just lost his man. That just lapse of concentration. So he has them moments, but I thought overall, I think he had another occasion where he's trying to pass it out from the back and
Yeah,
just giving it away again, which he loves to do. But overall, I think he's quite a commanding presence. You know, he's on the front foot, always wants to nick the ball, but it's not convincing at the back for us at the minute. I think it'll be a while
I
before we
still
get
think
another.
we miss Dawson badly.
We miss, yeah, we do, and
A
we miss,
Dawson-like player
yeah,
works so
yeah,
well in that team.
yeah.
I
I,
wonder if we'll go in for Harry Maguire in the summer.
I think, I mean, if it's not him, it'll be a player similar mold. I think, yeah, I think that's what's killing us a little bit in a minute, our defence. Even in, like we
Yeah.
mentioned before, even in the tight games where if you don't play well, you know, you nick a draw if you defend well. We're just not defending well.
And he's obviously doesn't fancy Ange at the minute, does he?
No,
He
I mean,
definitely doesn't fancy again, clearly, because he's been on, and we've won both games. He's been out.
yeah,
Uh, don't think that's really Aged's fault, or Mavropanos has played that much better than he did. So I think it is a little bit tough on Aged. I know we've both had our doubts on him, but I have them same doubts with Mavropanos. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think he's probably good enough.
Mm,
And I think Zuma, if he has got the niggles, we know Zuma's good enough. There's no debate about that. But if he has got injury worries, then we probably need. That's where a Dawson probably comes in, who's going to go and throw himself at the ball and do that dog work that Zuma then doesn't have to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do worry about Zuma now, but I mean, he scored a great goal. I've got to give him credit for that because that header's
It was a
a
great
great,
header, wasn't it?
great header.
Was so lucky. The way it looped in, it was like it was impossible to keep out.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
absolutely perfect, wasn't it?
yeah. So you got to give him credit for that. But it's just his mobility.
I
He just
love
seems,
Zuma. Like I say, I
yeah,
think he's
same.
one of my favourite signings, and I'm quite gutted. I'm kind of every week watching him to hope it was a niggle or
Yeah,
something. But I did see something last week that the financial fair play thing resets again this summer. So
okay,
that's where we can actually spend money again this summer.
okay.
So it was looking at, it was an article, I don't know whether it's true or not, there is, saying that the Saudi Pro League could be where we send quite a few. And they'd stated in it Zuma, Aged, a couple of others that were there,
Mm,
um, and then go for a bit of a rebuild on the back line.
yeah,
Which I think the good thing is we haven't got to build. I don't think we need midfielder. We need a backup midfielder. Um, it all depends if we keep Paqueta though, because then we've got a big hole to fill.
mm,
And Bowen, because teams are probably going to come in for them too. And then we need a centre forward, and then I think we need two centre halves.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
agree.
maybe have your Zuma or well Mavropanos as your backup, or you. Sadly, I think you also need to say to Ange, great year, but we need a better backup, someone that can come in because they're going to play not better in ability, but just more mobile. I think with his legs
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I think he got the injury at the wrong point of his career, didn't he?
mm, yeah,
Cruciate, didn't he? And it just,
yeah.
I think when you're older and you do it, you can't
It's
really. But he has performed well. Like against Arsenal, he
yeah,
was man of the match.
yeah. He's just getting older now, isn't he? Like, you know,
That's exactly it, and that's not. As I say, that's going to happen to all these players.
yeah,
Um, but I do think we probably need to make our squad a bit younger now, and that's when you
yeah,
look at Maguire. How old's Maguire now?
yeah. I'm not sure how old he is actually, but
32, 31.
is he? Yeah.
Be around that.
Mm,
Is he the right person to bring in for a couple of years, and you got to go for it again? I think we should probably be looking at someone a bit, maybe a British centre half. I don't know, but something that fits that system. But I think you need to get the manager sorted first.
yeah. No, that's true. And I was just thinking about that. Like managers are going to sign players who can do a job for them now. They're not really going to be thinking about the future in 2, 3 years, whether a player's going to develop into a good player. They just need a player for now, regardless of what his age is, because they need to get results. They're always under pressure, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
especially someone like Moyes, he loves a tried and tested player, who can produce for him. So,
And it
he's
has
probably
worked overall. Overall, as I say, I think we've got to a bit where we need a bit of a clear out.
mm,
We've got rid of Ben Rama and Fornals, Kera. Um, there's probably like Geared, as I say, is a good backup, but I don't think he'll want to be a backup. But I also think he'll probably generate too much money as a backup. He'll
yeah,
probably go and get more money in to go and spend again.
yeah,
My worry is that we have to go and sell Paqueta or Bowen to generate funds, because then I think we are a bit more problem. But then we thought that when Deck left and they spent the money wisely. So you got to have a bit of faith in the club and what they're doing there. Because look, they got some signings wrong. The Ings one was wrong.
mm,
Um, but overall,
you've done all right.
right, yeah, it's
Done
not.
all right.
Look at where we are. We're seventh in the league, or eighth in the league, whatever it is. No, seventh we are, aren't we? Yeah.
Seventh. Yeah.
So overall, they've got it right, and I think that's where when you see the banners GSB out and that, it's actually idiotic.
It's it's embarrassing. But I've heard that it's the same fan with the banner. So the same fan who had the banner last year, it's the same one fan. So it's not a load of West Ham fans.
Representation of West Ham fans.
Yeah, and
I
that
actually do think the GSB relationship has healed quite well.
it's definitely improved, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, you very rarely hear from Sullivan ever anymore.
Mm.
Um, you because at one point he was really doing all the interviews, everything, and I think that's what people got annoyed with. And look, to be honest with you, he's a West Ham fan and was probably so delighted that he was running the club, that he was living all our dreams, and probably we would all do exactly the same. Like, if you think about it, like we're doing a West Ham podcast, that's what he was doing, really, wasn't he? And then when it's not going right, you get hammered for it, really. So I don't think his love for the club has ever been in sort of
Any
like,
question?
yeah, never been questioned, has it?
Mm. No.
Um, I think the way he handled things and signings and the Big Sam thing, and I think there is things that they could do a bit better. But I think
Mm.
actually the media relations and all that sort of stuff, like the way it's all been done, is so much better. Like the club shop, for example, like it's just a much better experience. Going to
Yeah.
football, a great
Yeah.
experience. I'll say taking your kids to football, women coming to West Ham.
Mm.
It's not something that me and you 15 years ago would have thought would have happened.
Mm.
You think the amount of women that go to football now is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, loads.
And I think they've clamped down on, look, this sort of stuff. You're not going to sit here and shout that sort of things. And they've given people big bans, and I think rightly so. And that's the Premier League in whole. And it's actually quite nice, I think, when you see. I never thought I'd see women go to football.
Mhm.
Actually, fair. I remember there'd always be like you. There'd be one there, and you'd be like, "Oh, listen to her, trappy, happy old bag." And she was probably a complete diehard that was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
But now it is like people come and like I see girls going with their dads and their mums and things like that. It's actually quite nice. There's that little group of girl West Ham fans that go. They're like West Ham bloggers or something, I think. They have to
yeah.
do. I've seen them a few times at away. They go to every single away game,
Yeah.
and I think it's great. Like they're three girls. They are, I think. I've seen them probably 10 times.
Yeah.
And I think they do some West Ham stuff. I don't know
Okay. Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. I think I know what you mean,
You know
actually.
who I mean. One's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
red
yeah.
hair,
Yeah,
one's got blonde hair.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I actually sat behind them at Everton last year. I was sat behind them, and they were talking about the game like we are now. And I was actually really, really shocked. And I thought, I know that they're so like old school to even say it, But I was like, and I thought, wow, they love West Ham so much, and I actually thought that, wow, they're proper fans. Like
Yeah.
they're not here just to you look at the boys' legs.
I mean, I'm sure there was a little bit of that as well,
Yeah,
but
the no, it might have been there to look at the girls' legs. I don't know, I have no idea. The but the um, but that is the what the fault was of a football fan of women at football and things like that. But it has changed, and I think Sullivan and Gold and everyone have done that very well at West Ham. It is back to a family club, and I think we probably moved away from it for a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
It's nice. But I wanted to ask you as well, what is your greatest game that you have ever been to?
Greatest game I've been for West Ham, yeah,
Live. And I'm going to exclude Prague from here.
yeah.
But actually,
I
Prague wasn't the greatest game, really, anyway. It was just the greatest result.
Yeah, it was, I guess, the greatest occasion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Prague, but
Well, the great
not so,
feeling
not
you've had at football, like
yeah.
where
So I always, usually, when games that mean a lot to me, the games make me. It's the way it makes me feel,
yeah.
basically. But I
Yeah.
mean, this game was just a special game anyway. Obviously, the last game at Upton Park just a special game anyway. It was a special occasion. See the atmosphere outside the stadium before the game. With everyone on the streets around Green Street, like the Manchester United bus getting delayed, getting held up and pelted by the fans, stuff like that. And then inside the ground, obviously, like the flags and the banners and the fireworks and all the ex-pros, ex-West Ham sort of legends who were there, from Paolo Di Canio to Trev, sort of thing. So that whole occasion, and then the game itself was a bit like
Oh,
a fairy tale as
was
well,
it
wasn't it?
3-2 in the end?
Yeah, so 1-0
Did
down.
Winston
Sorry, one
Reid
nil
who
up.
scored the winner?
Winston Reid scored the winner. 1-0 up, 2-1 down, and then to get a winner in the last couple of minutes to make it 3-2.
Was it Antonio, then Winston Reid? Who scored the other two? Was it Antonio?
Yeah, so Sacco put us 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Martial equalised. I think he scored their second goal as well. So he put them 2-1 up, and then Antonio header, and then Winston Reid with a couple of minutes to go. And it
I'm
was just
looking
like,
back now. I'm so gutted that I never came home for that because
it was special. It was special,
I
and
was
it
in
was
Australia at the time, and it just was too far. Like for 24
yeah,
hours to come back, it was just absolutely. I can still remember watching it. I didn't go to work the morning. I can remember. I was supposed to be in work, but I thought, well, I can't be bothered now. I'm just going to sit here and watch this. It was so good. And I remember the last bit because they had the taxi cab that come onto the
that's
pitch
it.
and the
That's it.
pros. That was after the game, or was it before?
I
No, it was
can't remember.
after.
Was it
It was
after?
after. And
Yeah.
then the final thing was Bobby Moore turning out the lights, wasn't it? Which I loved
Oh
that.
yes,
Just
cool.
like, and
Yeah.
it was, yeah, that game, I never saw it live, but it must have been so good to be there.
Yeah, it was just full of emotion. Everyone was so emotional, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then to win it, obviously after being behind and that, it
And
was
it's
just
Man
like,
United.
yeah, top team as well.
Yeah.
So that was really special. A couple of others I've got to mention. I've got to mention Leon away, like more recently.
Oh,
You
God.
come to
Yeah.
Leon, didn't
Oh,
you?
I was trying not to, when I was thinking of mine, I wasn't trying to think of recent ones, but that was
Like
so.
that was unbelievable.
That's actually probably the best.
I think because obviously we'd drawn the home game, so we was all a little bit fearful that we was going to get turned over. And for me, like that game, it was just the emotion. I like when I can't believe what's happening. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just the
All I
best
really
feeling.
remember about that game, Dex scored that great goal, didn't he?
Yeah,
When he ran in. But I just remember being locked in for about 2 hours after.
yeah. But
And
we
with
didn't care,
no
did we?
water, did we? And it was just kind of everyone was a bit like everyone started getting more tired, didn't they? Do you remember that geezer that I shouted at, Robert Snodgrass?
No, I
He,
can't remember.
people still come up to me this day and mention because I see this guy goes, if he's listening, there's a guy, there's a guy that goes to West Ham every away game, and he's like an ugly Robert Snodgrass. and he was just shouting. He was so drunk that he was shouting in the crowd, like when we was all just waiting. And then I just said, "Oh, does your mum and dad know you're here, Snodgrass?" And everyone just went, "Ah!" And everyone started
Snoggers.
shouting Snodgrass at him. But every time we ever come out of an away game, one of us nudge each other and go, "Snodgrass over there." Like, it's Snodgrass. He is
Snodgrass.
an out and out West Ham fan, but I do love some of the characters that you get, especially
Ah,
away fans, because you
they're
know
always there.
it's always the same people, really, isn't it?
Always the same, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you notice some of them. There's this one that goes that me and my mate Matt call him the most West Ham fan in the world. He's a young fella, and he's like Danny Dyer Cockney. He's like, "All right, mate. All right, mate. All right, mate." Like, he does all these little things. How are you?
Uh,
That's fine. And you're like, it's so put on. And it's like, we laugh every time when he wears the old flat cap and the old braces sometimes. He's only young, but I love him. Like, he's just brilliant. Like, he loves West
yeah.
Ham, but he's just a character. But that is yeah, Leon away, because both of them people were there. So it just makes me think of them. But Leon away. I didn't
So,
go to the Seville home.
okay.
Home
I mean,
was the one, wasn't
yeah,
it? The
yeah, that was a good one, and one of the best games at the London.
performances.
Well, yeah, but one of the best atmospheres I've been to at the London Stadium, definitely.
Yeah.
That was another one where the feeling before the game was like we are right up for this and we're going to win it, sort of thing. It's just you just felt like electricity before the game. So that was another top one.
I remember one
My
that we went to actually was in the FA Cup run. Was it semi-final? Middlesbrough. It was at Villa Park.
yes,
I remember, and they sung John Lars Clap Army for I think he just passed away, and they sung it for nearly the whole game. And it was when Harewood was doing that easy, easy, and everyone was doing. I think we won 1-0.
1-1 Was it? It was Harewood as well, wasn't it? I think
I
it
think
was
it was
Harewood.
Harewood. Yeah, yeah.
Scored the winner,
And it
yeah.
was. I remember just that game was really good because it was
Yeah,
semi-final, obviously, but
yeah,
that was a really good one. We was in a white
yeah.
kit, I think.
Yeah, it was a white kit. Yeah, yeah, I think Dean Ashton set up
Yeah.
Harewood for the winner. But yeah, I remember at the end of the game, I can remember feeling quite emotional then, just thinking, "Oh my God, we are in an FA Cup final." Like watching all those FA Cup finals as a kid, dreaming that West Ham would get there, and then I was thinking, "Oh, like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that it
How
was there." You know?
frustrating was it to see Lionel Scaloni picking up a World Cup?
I know
To
that man, that man.
be fair, I have watched it back, and there are an half a lot to do from
It's
his
the
throw.
most ridiculous goal.
Yeah, like he throws it, Cisse gets it, but then he goes, and then someone should hit the tackle, and they don't. I think
Yeah,
it's Benny Yoon turns his back.
who's that?
Benny Yoon might turn his back.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
And
I think
then
you
Shaka, it's a
might
great finish, but that was a killer. Because that was one of the good days as well.
oh,
I
God,
love
we
the
were
playoff
sitting
one. Who was the playoff one we won after Palace?
the black, not the
Not
was it?
Blackpool, the one between
Oh, Preston,
Preston.
Preston.
That was a
Yeah,
great one. But they're fine. I think like, I like the games that don't really mean anything. Like I was at that Bradford West Ham one, where Di
I don't think I
Canio
was at that game.
hit
I don't
five
think I
four.
went to that.
Was it five
Yeah, I
four?
don't think. Yeah, it was. I don't think I went to that.
I was at that game. The I actually remember one. I can't remember if it was 2-1 to us against Arsenal, and Di Canio absolutely raped Keonan Adams.
Yeah, yeah. He done it.
Insane.
Yeah,
Flicked
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't know if he scored 2 or 1, but I remember he definitely scored there. But that game was brilliant. There was another game, I think, probably that season as well, where we beat Tottenham to go top of the league. A lot of people would forget that. And Trevor Sinclair scored this goal with the outside of his boot into the top corner. And I remember it was only like the sixth game in or something, and
Yeah.
everyone was outside going, "We're gonna win the league."
Of course.
But it was that was a good one. But yeah, my ones are definitely older ones. My favourite games like the Spurs 4-3, Hearts and Kitson, and I think Julian Dick scored twice.
Yeah,
And a penalty.
yeah, one. I think he blasted this penalty so
Yeah,
hard, didn't he? Keeper had no chance. Was it Ian Walker in goal? I think
Ian
it
Walker.
was.
Yeah,
He had no chance.
and then I think Sheringham scored. There was like this goal for Tottenham where it was really, really windy that day. And he kicks it up in the air and it goes all the way back. It goes out and then back in. It's either Anderton or Sheringham, I think, that does it. Um, that I loved that game. That was just, I would have been 11 or 12 then. I just remember that one. Same season was the Man United. Oh, no, it wasn't season after, but same kit. Man United 2-2 when Dick scores. Radicchio scores and Dick scores the penalty.
Yeah.
And everyone runs on the pitch. That was a brilliant game.
Yeah, I didn't go to that. I remember watching that one on TV, but yeah, I didn't go to that one.
Yeah, you weren't a season ticket holder then, were you? Because I used to go.
Nah, yeah, yeah.
But then
And,
we've
and
so many good ones.
um, I see my memory is terrible, as you know. So the ones from way back, I probably don't remember so well. But I went to the 3-0 win at White Hart Lane, as you know. There's
With
not many
Ravel Morrison.
Ravel Morrison, so I was there for that. And again, it's the feeling of like, can't believe this is happening, and it was just amazing. Obviously, I hate Spurs, you know, and being away, the limbs in the way, and just yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen us win at Spurs like live.
No.
I remember the first time I ever went Spurs, we lost 4-2 and a man spat in our face.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, lovely.
Nice.
The
Welcome to Tottenham.
Yeah, he spat in our face. We were sitting in the Tottenham end and he spat in mine and Davy's face. He tapped us on the back and done it. And it was
Oh, I can remember saying we speak sitting in the Tottenham end. Can you remember? I remember going with Ryan Redford to White Hart Lane towards Tottenham West Ham. I'd broken my leg, and for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to be wearing my West Ham shirt in the Tottenham end. I had a coat, but I was wearing my West Ham shirt and it was open, and the steward was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm surprised they let me in, but I think because I was on crutches, they obviously knew I wasn't a troublemaker or anything. He said, "Just do your coat up, and I'll let you in." But that was the game, and your face reminds me of this game because Ian Pearce scored an equaliser
I knew you were going
in the last minute, and I had to restrain myself because I was in the Tottenham end. But again, just those last minute goals. If you could bottle up that.
It was was it a long range effort as well? Ian
Yeah, it
Pearce?
was. It was great.
Yeah,
yeah. I think it was like edge of the box or something like that.
he was a great player for us.
So utility man, wasn't he?
Do you know what I forgot about? The year that we went down, Ian Pearce was playing as a striker.
Yeah, it was up top. Unbelievable.
We had Defoe, Canoe,
Yeah.
Canio, and Ian Pearce was up top. Oh, get up there.
You're pissy. Oh, I sat in front of him actually. I sat in front of him last season for the Palace away game, him and his boy.
Oh, really?
And he was like the nicest guy. Really humble, like playing.
He was one of my apps. I had him on the back of my shirt, didn't I?
Yes, you did, yeah.
And I used to do his celebration, didn't I? The old. You used to always call me Ian Pearce.
Yeah, that's you. Because you played.
Because I played everywhere.
Yeah, you was the same.
I need a player over there. Go on, you can go in.
Fucking useless, but yeah, up top.
Big Gartles running down the left wing.
Best crosser in the world, mate. You are best crosser in the world.
Outside of the boot, especially. No left foot. I've proved that. You don't need a left foot. You need outside the right. Ian Pearce, what a player. I forgot about him actually. We could do with Ian Pearce right now.
Yeah. I love Ian Pearce.
He's a really good player.
He went to Blackburn and won the league, didn't he? I think he
came from Blackburn.
He came from Blackburn.
Yeah. Came from Blackburn.
Was it Tony Gale who went to Blackburn and won the league?
Tony Gale went to Blackburn.
Tony Gale, wasn't it? Yeah.
And won the league. Robbie Slater won the league with Blackburn and played for us. He was a good player. Aussie,
Yeah, yeah,
little
yeah,
ginger
yeah,
fella, wasn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he? He was good. Then we had Stan Lazaridis on the left.
Yeah,
We'll
Skippy.
invite Stanley for tea and all his family. If he don't come, we'll tickle his bum with a lump of celery.
Oh, Skippy, good player.
Skip, remember that goal against Newcastle?
Oh, quick, wasn't he?
Belter.
Yeah. Oh,
He had no
what a
neck,
goal.
did he? You like that, running down the wing. Did
He was
no neck.
quick though, wasn't he?
He
Yeah.
was so yeah, he was so quick. And also actually the guy who played in front of him had no neck either, Matty Holmes.
Oh, Matty Holmes. Love Matty Holmes. He's another Blackburn connection, wasn't it? Did he? He
Did he
went
play for
there after.
Blackburn?
Yeah, he went there after us as well.
We had a
Yeah, I
few
love
Black-
Matty Holmes. Huh?
we had a few Blackburns. Mike
Yeah,
Newell,
Mike Newell.
he was a striker. He came to us at one point.
Yeah, yeah, I remember Mike Newell. Yeah,
Big tall
yeah,
fella, wasn't he? He was I think he was a Blackburn before Shearer, and Shearer
yeah,
see
yeah,
you later,
yeah.
Mike Newell. And then we got him. But I think he was only with us about 6 months or so.
Yeah, he was that towards the end of his career when he weren't. I think he was a bit washed up, but I remember
Yeah,
him playing.
yeah. But they were some of Harry's buyers, weren't they?
Yeah,
Like you had to like then you had like the end of it, the Rigobert song, Titi Kamara. I can't even remember him playing West Ham, but and then
so,
one of my favourites was Bernard Lamar.
yeah, Big Bernard.
Yeah,
I think he was all right for us, wasn't he? I think he
yeah,
was
he
all
was
right.
good.
Yeah,
He was good. Yeah, we had some good players then.
yeah,
Igor Stimac,
Steve mate,
another good
decent.
centre half.
Yeah, yeah.
Javier Margas.
No, I guess yeah, because he was poor first season. Then he adapted and he was
Yeah,
decent, wasn't he?
dyed his hair
Chilling,
claret and blue at one point, didn't
crazy fool.
And yeah, who was I just thinking of? Hayden Fox.
Yeah, was he
Remember it? Another
Aussie?
ginger fella, Aussie,
Yeah,
another Aussie.
Aussie.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we've had some good players. It's funny when you think about some of the players that we've had. Like you get drawn to your Payets and your Joe Coles and Defoes but there's loads of players that have given us
the
joy.
the unsung heroes, isn't it?
The unsung hero, like Tim
Yeah,
Bray,
Tim Breaker, brilliant he was
great
for
player.
us.
Steve Potts never gets
Yeah,
spoke about.
no, no,
Steve Potts was an absolute legend for West Ham, but you never ever hear him spoken about, do you, Steve Potts?
no.
Like, it's really weird. Like, did he play his whole career at West? No, he played at Luton. I think we
Did
signed him,
he?
and I
Okay.
think he went to QPR at the end, but played most of his career at West
Yeah,
Ham.
400, 500
Back,
games for us,
back,
isn't it?
centre half. When you think how small he was, he played centre half
No, no.
in the day of a big man as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Big
Playing
number
against
9.
Leon Dublins and
Yeah,
Fergusons and all them sorts of players. Like that must
he
have
was
been
playing centre half.
the right. Before we wrap it up, we've got 2 games that will air between our when we record, and I think when you hear this result will already be out because it's Thursday. And we'll release this on Saturday. Freiburg is home, isn't it?
Away. So I'm going. I've just.
Oh, it's this week. Yeah, it's away this week, isn't it? Sorry, yes.
Yeah, it's away this week. The club just sent out an email saying that a lot of the trains in Germany are on strike.
Okay.
So it's going to be fun and games trying to get to the ground, but hopefully I'll make it. I watched quite a lot of their game against Bayern Munich on Friday night, as sad as I am. And I thought they played, I mean, it ended up 2-2. I thought they played.
Yeah, I thought it was a draw only because I've seen it because they're
Yeah.
talking about a lot because of Tuchel at the minute. But
Yeah. So I was going to say, yeah, they look pretty decent. They look better than both games against us. I don't know.
what do you
whether
reckon a score
I
on the
think
spot?
I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-0. I think good result.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah.
Suchet. I'm gonna put down here Suchet.
You get bonus points if that comes in.
Putting that in. So then we go on to Burnley.
Yeah.
Home or
home.
away?
Home.
Home, I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, now you've got to be beating these. We only just beat them 2-1, didn't we, last time?
yeah, Sucho,
Yeah.
great finish. 3-1 West Ham. I think we're struggling to keep clean sheets in a minute, and I think even Burnley are going to score, but I think 3-1 West Ham.
Yeah, I'm going 4-1.
Ooh,
We're scoring a
nice.
few goals at the minute. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if as long as we've got Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudos, it seems we score goals with them.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. So Freiburg, when do you leave?
I'll go out first thing Thursday morning.
How you
It's not,
flying there?
yeah, flying there. It's only like an hour and a half flight. But then, yeah, it's just making your way. Because I think I'm flying to, it's called Euro Airport, which is, I think it's actually in France, but it sort of caters because it's so close to Basel, so close to Freiburg, and then so close to somewhere else in France. It sort of caters for that region.
Oh,
So
really?
I'll just I'll get a train
I
from
think all the
there.
boys are going out there. Actually, I think they're all going
Oh,
for
mate,
this. Yes, you
oh, mate.
should. Is Steven Seagal going?
So Gal's not going this one. No,
What?
he's been away, so he's going to miss that one.
So we got to tell the Steven Seagal story because I know he'll listen to this.
He'll love the mention as well.
So Addy's got a friend called Steven Seagal. Now, what is his real name?
His real name's Mike Sadan.
Do you know what? I forget his real name all the time because I only
Just
call
because
him.
you always call him Seagal.
So we was at Leon Away, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were at Leon Away, and Addy, I was there with Addy was there with him, and I was there, and we were meeting up. And I think Addy had already given him a bit of prep, like, because I like to take the piss a bit. Said like, mate, you're just Sam's coming, but ignore him, sort of thing. But he'll probably give you a bit of stick. So as we come round the corner, I can still remember, I can still picture it because it was at that restaurant, wasn't it? They're right there on the water, wasn't it? And as we come round, and he's with his mate, and all right, Ad, like that. And I look at this guy, doesn't look your typical West Ham fan. He was in a, he's very tanned, doesn't he? Like he's like not a fake tan, but I mean like he
yeah. He's got dark
looks
skin.
well. He's like he's a slim guy, got nice complexion, tanned. He's got hair that shouldn't be in a ponytail. Basically, he had my length hair, maybe a bit shorter, slicked back like this, with a little rubber band around the back end of it. So that was my first notice. And then he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt as well, but like but a trendy one, like an All Saints Hawaiian shirt, like what? It's a nice summer shirt, not really West Ham clobber. And the first thing I said, I went, "Oh mate," I said, "What do you fucking come as?" And Addy went, "I told you." Like, so then we go in the restaurant and he sit down. He's a lovely fella. His brother was with us as well, who is also another lovely fella. And we sit down, and my mate Danny is late to the table. So as he sits down, goes like that, and he goes, "Who are you? Fucking Steven Seagal."
And that was it.
That was it. He's now
That
known.
was it.
Yeah, and everyone loves him as well, don't they? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
when he comes in, everyone's like, Seagal!
yeah. Brilliant.
And Seagal manages to bunk into two. We managed to bunk Seagal in. Where did we bunk him in?
We should be saying this, should we? It was the AZ game, AZ Alkmaar, wasn't it?
Alphabet FC.
Alphabet FC.
I actually see that kid is running podcasts now. He's on everything. He does a lot of stuff for the club. Abe, I think Abel, I think his name is.
No,
You know the young
know.
kid out Prague this way.
Oh yeah.
Prague this way, mate. He's on everything. I'd like to get him on as a guest.
Oh,
He's brilliant, isn't he?
He's brilliant. He is actually
He on
brilliant.
Talk Sport like last week, I think.
No, yeah.
He's on
He's the
everything.
man. He's the face of West Ham.
You are?
He's the face of West Ham now,
He
isn't
kind of is, isn't he? He's brilliant though. Like
he?
when he says, but that original interview when he goes, "Well, you've been on the primes," and he goes, "Yeah, not today, mate, not today." Like he's so funny, that kid.
Love it.
He was on the pitch at Prague when I was on
Was
the pitch.
he?
Yeah, he was stood next to me, and he was crying, cuddling me with his dad. I've got a video of it actually. He's a good little boy. He's
There's
great.
a lot of people crying that
He
day.
loves West Ham, doesn't he? That kid.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But yeah, so Segal, if you're watching, it'd be nice to see you soon. If anyone sees a Steven Segal lookalike at West Ham, please go up. And also, if you see the most Cockney man in the world, you will see him. You've got to take a picture and send it to us. So that and Robert Snodgrass. We'll call him Bob Snodgrass.
Man like
You
Bob.
see ugly Snodgrass or Cockney man or Steven Segal, you've got to send it to us and we will dish it out.
Oh dear.
Well,
Characters.
that is the end of today. It's been nice seeing you. A big week. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Let's do this. Easy.
Well done, mate.